Hi everybody, this week starts with more problems at the allotment. We've now had an infestation of whitefly on our brassicas and the ladybirds haven't arrived. Where are they? There's so much food for them. So anyway, in the meantime, I'm doing a tried and tested trick that my granddad told me about, which is use fairy liquid in the water. Apparently it stops the aphids breathing, so I am suffocating millions of whitefly, hopefully, and then our brassicas might survive. Anyway, you probably noticed here we've suddenly got 4 hives. We've had another one trying to swarm, so I've had to split them again. And we're still in the June gap here, so there's not much forage around, so I'm having to give them a little bit of syrup because they were getting really dangerously low on food and they risked starvation. But here we go, I'm just checking one of the nukes, and yep, they've lapped up all the syrup I gave them previously, so a little bit more is going to go in just to help them through so that they don't go hungry. But it's looking up now because the brambles are now starting to come out, and this is just around the corner from where the hives are. Glenda picked up a bit of footage of, these are our bees because they are literally just meters away from the hives. So they're going to be okay now, so hopefully I won't have to give them any more food. Now, if you remember from a couple of weeks ago, I just cannot get in our greenhouse because Glenda's flowers are going everywhere. Anyway, Gardener's World, Monty Don was making some hurdle fences to hold things back. So Glenda said, Mark, I know you can make one. So here's my attempt at a hurdle fence. And it's looking okay. I'm pretty pleased with it actually, given that I'm pretty dodgy at woodwork. And my school teacher used to kick me out of class because I used to play the fool because I was so rubbish. I had to try and distract some of the way. Anyway, it's in, and look at that. I can now get safely through with my watering cans without destroying all of the plants. Now, talking of woodwork, because of the hives, I need to make some equipment. I'm not buying it, it's getting ridiculously expensive. I've got loads of wood, so I thought, I've got some plans, let's have a go at it. So I'm going to make a couple of floors for the beehives. So I've made a couple of roofs already earlier in the week. I haven't shown you those, but these are the floors. So I'm just using my very dangerous table saw to cut some bits to the width that I need to put them to, just to kind of fit around the hive. And here I go. I've got my tenon saw, I think it's called, out now. Not particularly skilled. Oh, look at that. Nasty. I've broken the wood, but it's still okay. I'll get a bit of sandpaper on that and that'll be absolutely fine. So anyway, I'm now starting to lay it on top of a brood box to make sure I get it the right dimensions, and this will be the entrance. So I'm just having to mark that because I've got to notch a bit out. And apologies if anyone does woodwork, please don't complain. I'm using a vise, I know, to nip the wood. I'm trying to cut it from a great height. It's not pretty and it's probably not the easiest way to do it, but it works for me and it seemed to go okay. So I'm just going to sand those bits down just to make it smooth so it will fit nicely into the hive. And it slots in beautifully. I'm pretty happy with that part of it. So now I've done that, I need to start putting it all together. I'm not going to do any fancy joints, I'm literally just going to glue and screw. It's probably the phrase, I'm not sure if it's the right one, but that's what I'm doing here anyway. And to make it easier, I'm going to just clamp it with some F-clamps. So I know all the terminology, even though I'm rubbish at woodwork. I think it's an F-clamp anyway, if it's not, someone tell me in the comments. And look at this, I've got my old school electric drill. For those younger people watching, this is one you actually plug into a socket, it's not just got a battery on it. And that way I don't have to keep changing the drill bit for the screw adapter. So here is my battery powered drill, just to put the screws in with. I'm just going to work my way around, doing all 4 corners, and I've got it on the top to make sure I keep it nice and square so it doesn't go out of shape. Because of the fact that I am just gluing and screwing, as I said earlier. So here we go, this is the actual mesh floor. This is a Varroa floor for anyone who's interested, and I'm going to nip it between 2 layers of wood. So the floor will be nipped in from above and below, so the mesh stays in place. This just means when the bees get rid of the Varroa mites, they fall through the bottom of the hive. So just lining it all up again, and then I'm going to get out the trusty wood glue. And then I'll put the plinths on, get some screws through, and that is going to hold it nicely in place. You can see in the background there was one I made the day before, so this is actually the second one I'm making, which meant it went a little bit smoother than the first one because I had a little bit more experience by now. So here we go, here's the old school electric drill, Bosch. No, that's what the drill is called, not talking about the screwing going in there. And there's my Makita, my trusty battery Makita. And that's done a lovely job putting the screws in. I'm doing the pilot holes because I don't want to split my wood because it's quite narrow and it's pine and it's quite soft. So we're now on to the final bits, and that is the top part of the frame done. Now I've just got to do the underfloor now, and the reason I'm doing this is because it allows you to slide a tray underneath so you can check how many varroa mites are in your hive approximately, and you then know whether you have to give them some treatment, because eventually they will kill a hive off if the numbers get too high. So I'm just doing the same thing. I'm gluing and screwing, and once this is in place, then pretty much the floor is complete, apart from just having to do the entrance block. I went to Screwfix last week and I got this massive, I can only describe it as a suitcase full of different size screws. So I've got every screw that I need for this job, which is great. So here we go. I've now got to just put this final part in. So this is the gap I was talking about where the tray slides in. So I just had to make sure I put a separate bit in there to just allow me to slide the tray in nicely. And then I'm just going to run a plinth all the way around, so when the tray does go in, it won't slip out, and I'll be able to inspect it for the varroa mites. So that's that part done. Really pleased with that. So I've now just got to do the entrance block, and you'll see I've marked out the bit I want to cut out, which is where the bees will go in and out of the hive. Now I'm using my chisel, didn't think about where I'd put the camera, so I apologise if anyone's getting a bit seasick watching this one. It is seriously jiggling the camera around. And I'm giving it a good bash there to try and chop this bit out with my chisels. It kind of went okay, but then I just had to do a bit of finishing touches with my chisel just to try and get it to the lines that I'd actually drawn. But in the end, I was pretty pleased with it. That's not too bad. And look at that, there's the finished floor. So I've now got 2 floors ready for my 2 nukes when I put them out. Now I just need to seal them because they need to be weatherproof, and I don't want to use nasty chemicals. So I was watching a video of a guy who was talking about what our medieval cousins did, and they used to kind of char the wood so it naturally protects the timbers. And there's timbers which are 1,000 years old which have never had any treatment apart from this. So I've charred it. I'm now rubbing the outside skin off, and once that's actually clear, it's still dark underneath and it leaves a lovely sealed finish, but there are a few cracks. So then he said what you can do is you can use some board linseed, which is again what our medieval forefathers did, just to seal into some of those cracks in the wood. So I'm just going to go around with the linseed, and that will be the final touch, just to make sure this is absolutely weatherproof, because it will be standing outside like all year round in all weathers. So there we go, that is now finished. So I have now got 2 finished hives. And finally, here's my 4 gallons of elderflower wine. Glenda helped me siphon it, so there was no mess. I didn't do it this time because you've seen me do that before. So here we go, it's bubbling away nicely. So that's it from us this week. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Have a great week, everybody, and we will see you next week for what we've been up to. Bye.